Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. It's Andrade and Irwin back at it again. And today we're going to talk about some crazy news in the basketball world because Overtime, the branding giant, has announced that they are going to start a basketball league for kids, basically, for 16 to 18-year-olds and pay, get this, at least $100,000 a year to these players.
Man, it seems like everybody in the mothers is creating a league, bro. You know what? Now that I think about it, bro,
I didn't think about that
Why
before.
don't we create a league? Well, the BTD League,
BTD League.
Cup.
Well, what funding?
Yeah, we're in what funding? That's where you guys are gonna come in. Help us out, man. Hit that like, hit that comment, subscribe.
Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth.
Yeah, man, and yeah, tell us more about it, man. Overtime League. From what it looks like, it looks pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, all right. Before we get into our personal thoughts on it, this is the parameters, this is the info on it. So obviously, this is by Overtime. Overtime is a huge, uber popular internet brand per se, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
And this league is going to be called the Overtime Elite League, aka the OTE.
Sounds like a
and
stock ticker.
it just might be the new basketball farm system for the NBA. Basically, farm system, for anybody who don't know, is when you like get the
Minor
young
leagues.
kids and basically develop them, which is they already been doing this shit in soccer and even baseball for decades.
Yeah, the youth academies, the minor leagues.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about like international, international. I remember I met this guy from Netherlands who broke it down. Like, he's like, bro, they go into your town because he was trying to get his kid in it, who was like, I think 8 or 9, and he's like, by 9 years old, 10 max, you already know who has the potential to make it or not. And by that young, these kids' dreams are either shattered or hopeful. And I was like, God damn, that's
Like,
mad.
God
Yeah,
damn.
right? Like, NBA players, some of them even start playing basketball like 12, 13, 14.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
but that's just how soccer is. Fuck. You guys think the NBA is a vicious sport? Like, soccer is some next level shit. But yeah, so the Overtime has said that they would pay each player at least $100,000 a year.
Damn.
That's at least. So
At least.
for a starting wage, that's fucking incredible. And then that also includes, they said, that it will pay for all health insurance benefits for all the players and allow players to earn bonuses on top of that and possible equity in overtime. Now, they also said they want to start this league already in 2021 by September 30th with 30 players.
Okay.
And this is where things get a little interesting because there are some big names involved with this with the league, which for me gives me a little more hope, and we'll get more, like I said, more into our thoughts after. But all right, investors in this include Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Baron Davis, Victor Oladipo, and last but not least, a pretty popular venture capitalist from Silicon Valley, Andreessen Horowitz.
Okay.
And
I
then
pronounced it right,
there
but-
is NBA DNA. I was thinking the same thing. There is NBA DNA infused in the league besides the investor, and that starts with the OTE commissioner is a former NBA executive. That's Aaron Ryan,
Okay,
and
that's
the
the
league operations for this is going to be overseen by Brandon Williams, who was an ex-Sacramento Kings assistant general manager.
I don't know, man. The
So-
Kings are a dumpster fire, so that doesn't give me any
Shit.
confidence
Oh,
there.
wow, like that. But I'm just saying, like, when you start like that's the big difference. I don't know, when you're mentioning other leagues, I don't know if you're thinking of like, Big Baller Brand or whatever when LeVar was trying to start.
That's a meme.
But
that's a
unlike
meme league.
another, unlike a lot of other leagues or startups that people try, what gives me hope in this one is the fact that it's not about it being popular names, but it's about it being experienced people that are being involved with this project. And more so the fact that they got an NBA executive to commission this league, to basically steer the ship for it. And then on top of that, the league's operations is also managed by going to be operated by someone who worked in the NBA as well. Like, okay, that gives me a little more hope.
On paper, it looks like it's promising from everything that I'm seeing so far. It has the salary. I'm not quite sure if you brought this up. Yeah, you did brought up the equity in overtime.
Oh yeah, possible equity.
Yeah, the health insurance,
That's huge, especially in the United States of America.
As a 16 and 18-year-old, it has the NBA, obviously the imprint on it with the investors, with the former players. What I really like about these two things is actually two things on it. Obviously, I already brought it up: the equity and the $100,000 for college tuition.
If you choose to go to college with it, Overtime will provide you $100K in college tuition.
Because we could agree.
Which is a little confusing for me though, because if you play in this league, like even if you do it before when you're in high school, you can't. At least as of now, like as of this recording, you can't play it in the NCAA for college. But I guess that's like, okay, you're not gonna play like you already forfeited playing in college. Will cover you as being a full-time student. You know what I mean?
I actually like this because a lot of leagues try and focus on like the high end, like the 5-star recruits when it comes to high school and college. Here they want to do something for the future, attract more players. Like let's say you're not a 5-star recruit.
Bro, I think they are trying to.
They are obviously, but what's gonna keep the league going as well. You're gonna need other players as well. It can't be.
Of course. Like he said, 30 players. I mean, they said 30 players, and September 30th when they start.
Not all the 5-star recruits.
Not all those 30 players are going to be 5-star recruits, I'm assuming.
Exactly, because there's so much competition. There's college basketball. That's not going away. The G League, that's not going away.
Not anytime soon.
Overseas,
that's and not G League is not. But yeah, like this is 16 and 18-year-olds, so G League, it doesn't matter.
No, but yeah, for the 18-year-olds, that could happen. Overseas.
After graduating high school.
Overseas, LaMelo Ball, he played overseas. As a young jit,
but that's a really rare story because the other players that have played overseas was after they graduated high school.
Okay, that's true, but you get what I mean.
LaMelo is like literally the anomaly because LeVar was LeVar, although it worked out perfectly because that motherfucker is the big ass favorite for Rookie of the Year in Vegas, like insane.
And who knows? We're gonna put a card over here. He might be a future face of the league.
He might be a future face of the league. But what gives me hope with this, and I think why it'll attract so many big stars, like young stars, is I'm gonna put this tweet up. Joe Pompliano,
CEO,
said,
Andrade is the CEO of not rounding things up and pronunciations.
And he said the league's biggest selling point might be distribution. I'll disagree with that. I don't think it's the biggest selling point, but I do think it's one of the biggest selling points, and that is Overtime across all social media platforms has 40 million followers and accrues 1.7 billion. That's with a B. Views per month. Monthly, guys.
Yeah, you know how much clout you're gonna get.
Exactly. Like you already get a shit ton of clout nowadays. Like that's where ESPN did a great coverage on that. But now imagine 60. Bro, I can't even like imagine that. Like you're 15. Like you don't even have to wait 3 more years or 4 more years anymore. Like they already come to you like, okay, would you like to join OT? You're already gonna get paid. You're basically almost at least top 5 to 10% of the country with $100,000 and insurance included at 16. And then on top of that, with the distribution system, the platform that Overtime provides, your brand, the ability to build your brand skyrockets.
I'm gonna revisit this one more time. Really like the $100,000 for college if it doesn't work out. It mitigates the risk. When it comes to kids, it doesn't work out.
And I think that gives me more hope in OTE because it's like, as a parent, I would feel more okay. I would like to know what the logistics. Actual, exactly, like how it works out. Is it really 100? Is it max 100? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it a specific college they got to go to? But it does mitigate the risk because you're like, okay, if my son or daughter can't do this shit, okay, there's a net.
100K is net. More than enough for most majors and most respectable universities.
That's true. And on top of that shit, you can, if it's just through academics, you can still find fellowships and scholarships to help cover your shit. And bro, 16 to 18, like say you don't become a basketball star, you know what I mean? But you got 40 million. You're exposed to 40 million followers and 1.7 billion views monthly. Like even if you cut that in half, because obviously these are not individual views, and all these followers are not real followers. Let's be honest.
Bots.
By the time you finish your OT days, you'll have more than enough platform to like either shit, you can even not go to college if you want. Start your own business, start your own brand. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with basketball, or could have something to do with basketball. You can go into coaching. You can go into working on the staff side of, you know, a lot of basketball, NBA, or different leagues. There's just a whole bunch of possibilities, and now including like shit. Say you realize like science is your passion, or mathematics. You know what I mean? Literature, and
that's the beauty of it. However, just like most things, right now it looks good on paper. We got to see how it actually plays out, because we've seen it time and time again. Things that look good on paper, and when it actually plays out, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
I hope it does.
Well, I'm gonna say it right now. I think this is gonna work out. I think it's very early to tell, but my gut and instincts, based on everything that I've read and observed so far, is that this is going to work out. And the main reasons are they're gonna be first to market. Like, forget all the other leagues. They're first to market for an actual 16 to 18 year olds NBA basketball player league. You know what I mean? That's gonna pay. And also, just even before the NBA, that's actually going to pay, because NCAA doesn't even pay.
Yeah, they got to fix that.
They have the distribution system and the platform. They have the right management. So, for, at least from on paper, who they hired to do it. So, I trust that the operations and logistics are going to be run smoothly with this. We've seen examples of other leagues working out, like the Big Three, which is literally on the opposite side of the spectrum in terms of age. But the Big Three worked out. And if it wasn't for COVID, it would still be going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was... I can't imagine the the potential was already there. Seeing how it was playing out, like, I can't imagine what heights it would have reached right now if it didn't have to, like, you know, stop. And lastly, it's all... The investors, for me, it says a lot. A lot of times, I'm not a big believer in popular name investors, because... A lot of popular, like, when there's a stock and they're like, Bill Gates invested in it, Justin Bieber invested in it. Bro, they got more than enough money, and they say it themselves. They invest in a shit ton of things, and they're not just going to put their money anywhere, but they'll invest in a ton of things and just hope and pray that like 5 to 10% of what they invest in works out and recuperates all the other shit they've lost in. But Horowitz, like, guys, Google him. His track record is legit. He's from Silicon Valley. Like, he put his money where his mouth is, and he's one of the last key pieces for me that, like, okay, man, if he's saying, like, if he's putting his money where his mouth is, he believes this is gonna work out on top of everything else. All right.
One thing I do want to add,
and Durant too. Actually, I'm gonna say Durant, because Durant's been doing a lot of good investments lately. Like, he took advantage of that Golden State. By the way, that's one of the reasons he wants to Golden State. If you guys don't know, like, it was to get buddy with a lot of
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, a lot of venture capitalists, a lot of tech people, a lot of big names. Like, he has a lot of investments. I'm blanking out on some of the names right now. I know one of them was the share riding, like either Uber or Lyft. Okay. And this was back like when he was 2015. Like, it was still building. Like, it was already kind of popular, but not to the heights that it is now. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of other shit. And then he also did, like, right now he has his own production company. Mm-hmm. I'm forgetting the name for it, but you know, the one that he does all the... That's where he does, like, most of his interviews now and shit.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And he's following in LeBron's footsteps for that.
And he has his own podcast as well.
Yeah. So Durant is also, like, okay, if Durant's going to invest in this, man's smart. Like, I trust Durant now. He really is, like, a second LeBron in terms of, like, okay, I'm past my player stage, or, like, I'm kind of...
He's going to have a smooth transition.
Metaphorically past it, yeah. He's in his building a mogul stage now, which is like Jay-Z's the best example. Mans was still rapping, but Jay-Z put rapping aside for a minute and started building that mogul stage, and then he still kept rapping.
He's like, hey, I'm not a businessman.
And now he's just
I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Exactly. And yo, shout out Jay, man. He was able to flip title for a nice little penny.
Cool.
The Nets could go 0 for 82. I still look at you like this shit gravy.
But the one thing I do want to add, assuming this actually works out with overtime, is this actually going to be something that's going to push the NCAA to finally...
I wondered that.
To finally pay the players. Not even
the NCAA. You know what I'm thinking? I'm wondering if this pushes Adam Silver in the NBA to finally get rid of that fucking...
19-year-old.
Yes. Like, it's not like it's never been done. Like, the NBA was like that before. So I think the pressure is on. Who knows? At the same time, though, there's a part of me... the things, because I think Silver is very, very, very aware and intelligent on how to view things on a very, very macro level. And like, I think if he sees that, and I can't remember where I kind of heard some of these rumblings, but like, if he sees that OTE is helping build the sport of basketball, then maybe he won't change the rules as much, or won't change it as drastically as maybe we think, because it's not the OTE is not going to be a rival, at least not now, to the NBA.
It's never gonna
It's just, like I said earlier, a farm system to build the NBA. And if overtime can help build the sport of basketball, then that naturally is going to help build the brand of the NBA. Because the NBA, you know, you guys, for self-explanatory reasons, it's like the NBA and basketball are two separate things, because one's a brand, one's the sport. They're just, you know, closely associated. Yeah. But that's why I think Silver sees like, oh, y'all are helping build the sport to becoming, I'm not gonna say number one, because as much as when I was a kid, like, oh, maybe
soccer.
As an adult, you realize I don't think anything's gonna catch up to soccer. But
the beautiful game of football.
As long as basketball can become the second worldwide sport, and for the most part it is, but in terms of numbers, it's still, there's other sports like cricket and rugby. No, not the NFL. Oh. Well, at least in the United States. But I'm talking about worldwide. Like cricket and rugby still have bigger
audiences.
Yeah. Then I think, okay, if this helps build the brand of the sport of basketball, boom, I think Silver would be okay with like, oh shit, all right, basketball is number 2 in the sport. Guess what's right behind there? NBA. Because I don't foresee any other league challenging the NBA as the best top tier sport, not top tier league for the sport of basketball. Unlike soccer, where there's like La Liga and everything, you know what I mean?
And MLS,
Premier League.
On
that note,
eventually it's gonna be up there. Give the MLS,
bro,
40 more years.
I had high hopes for the MLS in the 2010s because of the moves they were making early on in that decade. It's another topic if you guys ever want to talk. We said we talk deep about ball. It could be any ball.
Literally ball, for real,
but,
man.
Now I'm just like, you know what? We'll see. It is what it is.
We'll see.
At least we got the NBA and the NFL, the top tier leagues for their respective sports.
At least we got David Beckham and Inter Miami going on. What? But anyway,
Messi to Inter Miami.
Calling it right now. Yeah, you heard it here first. But anyways, guys, appreciate all the love and the hate. You guys already know. Catch us on Twitter, TikTok, Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball.
Drop a comment if you think OTE, Overtime Elite League, is gonna work out, and if not, tell us why not, or if it is, tell us why, or fucking just call us out, say we're idiots if you guys think we're idiots.
And either way, if you got to this point, you guys are real ones. Catch you guys soon, but for now,
take
later.
Care.